You can listen to my entire life soundtrack as a playlist on Apple Music, Spotify, and Tidal. Just search for Songology with Yemi Oydiran. Rainbow Family Bookstore, which was a Christian bookstore. I listened to a lot of Christian music. There wasn't, in my house, I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music, as it's known, which is for the unchurched, that is non-Christian music. So, I've gone back and done some deep dives into some of the music I used to listen to. And it is a wonder to me that I'm a musician. A lot of it just isn't very interesting musically, but I spent a lot of time in the Christian bookstores listening to a lot of things, Kirk Franklin, a lot of Kirk Franklin, a lot of other artists that I don't feel like mentioning because they'll be embarrassing, but yeah, some DC Talk. I was like a big DC Talk head back in the day. So, growing up as a good Christian Nigerian boy, there were artists in Nigerian music that my parents would shy me away from or not speak about or even let me know about. And there was one year when we were going to Washington, D.C. And so Washington, D.C. is one of the Nigerian meccas in the country. Houston, Texas is another one. So going to the D.C. area was always like an experience. It's always like basically going to Nigeria. And we would drive from Cleveland to D.C. and my family, we always took road trips to go see like different friends and different people, like to Detroit and to all these other cities. But we'd always have music and I'd always take books. But this one time, my mom finally, like I hear my parents arguing, like I'm reading my book and I hear my parents arguing whether they should play something. And I was like, what? What is it? Like, what is this? And my dad very much says, well, Fela is very vulgar. So I don't think that you should listen to it. And my mom's like, who cares? Like, my mom is very liberal. And my mom's like, let the boy listen. And I was like, all right. So I want to hear this. And my brothers are in there. And like, my dad's like, oh boy. So the first song that my mom drops is SHAKARA. And this song is hilarious. It is now like my family's favorite song. All of us, when we get together, SHAKARA has to be played because it takes us back to that moment. It was a good trip. It was a good road trip. And I believe I was 16. So like my parents also let me drive part of the journey to get better at road driving. But like, I remember being like, we have to, like, what is this song? So SHAKARA is a song. It's a Fela Kuti song. And I'm going to switch accents. I'm sorry. I'm bi-dialectic for those who don't know. And it's very hard for me to pronounce things in Yoruba words and, like, also then switch to an American accent. So SHAKARA is a song that's about, so in Nigeria, there's a culture of people always showing off and trying to always, like in America, you call it fronting. This idea that, even if you are weak, you can pretend that you are strong. You can pretend like you're ready to fight and everything works out. So Shako is like a word that we use in Yoruba, which is to show off. Ofe Shako. So that's something that you do in front of like a girl or you do in front of other people. So there's this culture of around a lot of these people, especially if you go in the market, you'll be walking in the market, there's always some guy somewhere. there's always some guy somewhere and he's running his mouth and causing all kinds of trouble. So you see that maybe there's a fight that's about to start between two people. One of them is a weak man. The other one is somebody you don't want to mess with. So the song is basically like this weak man starts saying like, oh, I'll go beat you, I'll kill you. Who do you think you are? You don't know who I am? Me? You want to fight me? Me. You don't even know what you're doing. So there's this SHAKARA culture. So SHAKARA is somebody who they're always making this noise like. So SHAKARA is a weak person who can't back it up. And the song is about this process, about what happens and all the different ways. But yeah, it changed the way that I approached the culture. It changed the way that I understood my own people. And it changed the way that different actions and different things that didn't make sense to me growing up in Yoruba culture. SHAKARA was able to just uniquely hit it and explain it. And then and also with other of Fela songs, there were just a lot of things in Nigerian culture that all of a sudden was like, now I understand that detail. Now I understand what's going on. And it changed very much the way that I approach things. You can listen to my entire life soundtrack as a playlist on Apple Music, Spotify, and Tidal. Just search for Songology with Yemi Oydiran.